so many people are expecting now a sell on the news that we might not have a sell on the news.
Is Cathie Wood smiling more than usual? Seems like it. I know there's been a lot of noise, but just in case anyone has been living under a rock, we are in that January 8th through January 10th window that many of us have had our eyes on.
Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. Look around.
Bitcoin ETFs are knocking on the door of SEC approval. Guys, take 2 seconds, smash the like button. Let's get this video out there to as many people as possible. Of course, send this video to a friend. This is it. This is why we're here. Why we post, why we comment, why we get up in the morning. This is what it all comes down to. So just so you understand what the applicants and what the SEC has been doing, the applicants had to get in all of their final updated applications on Friday, and that's what they did. So now what we're seeing is the SEC updating their website and updating everything with this information. The 19B-4 applications from Friday after market close are now pouring onto the SEC's website as I type this. James Seyfarth explains. He is the ETF expert over at Bloomberg, keeping us updated. Hey, he follows. This process can typically take a few days and up to 2 weeks. Yet another sign of what we already know. The SEC is accelerating things for this week. So at this point, we are expecting the official word that these ETFs have been approved on January 10th. That's the most likely date. Obviously, we'll be watching if this comes earlier, but this is also the final date. No guarantees with any of this, but it's looking like January 10th. And even more interesting, BlackRock, ARK Invest, Fidelity, in fact 13 in total, are literally in a bidding war over who can offer the cheapest fees for their ETFs because they know there's a truckload of demand ready to roll in. They're competing for business. Be very aware of everything going on these next few days. Don't walk away before they start lighting fireworks. Hold on tight, enjoy the show. So, what comes next? What can we expect after these spot Bitcoin ETFs are approved? Before we talk about this, I want to hear from somebody actively involved. I want to hear from Cathie Wood. CNBC just asked her 2 questions. Do you think your ETF and the 13 in total ETFs will be approved? Assuming they get approved, what will be the impact on price? Is Cathie Wood smiling more than usual? Seems like it.
Do you believe your application will be approved? And why do you think so? And what kind of negotiations have been in with the SEC about this? Give us a sense of where we are.
Sure. Well, we do think the probability is very high that that Bitcoin ETFs will be approved this week. And the reason, as we've been saying, is, the SEC actually, after, denying a number of times, started asking questions, very good questions, very detailed questions, very technical questions. So I think they've asked all the questions they need answered, and I think most of us have probably been a part of that process.
So let's assume the SEC approves your application. What kind of impact would a Bitcoin ETF have? I mean, we've all noticed this run-up in Bitcoin ever since BlackRock announced their interest from 30,000 to over 40,000. All of this is anticipation of a spot Bitcoin ETF. Could this be a sell on the news event? What happens from here? Let's assume this is approved.
Sure. I think so many people are expecting now a sell on the news that we might not have a sell on the news because, once you hear that enough, the positioning is already taking place. So who knows? It's a very short term. All we know is with our 5-year investment time horizon, we think the flows into this new asset class, especially institutional flows, but also retail flows. Retail has led the charge, of course, that they're going to be quite substantial. And it won't take much of an allocation by institutions into Bitcoin to drive what is becoming a scarce asset much higher.
So, like I said, the applicants just released their fee spread for their ETF spot products. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Well, honestly, these fees are so low that these ETFs will trade with absurdly tight penny-wide bid-ask spreads, and without any commissions on most platforms. Don't be surprised when the fee war leaks out beyond just ETFs. What does this mean? This means a huge win for investors. I remember people saying that spot Bitcoin ETFs are simply a money grab by issuers. Clearly not the case. A tight spread like this equals a major win for investors. It will put real pressure on crypto exchanges. Coinbase, Gemini, the fees are too damn high. These fees are going to come down finally, I hope. So all of these fees are much lower than expected. Why? Why are the fees so low? Because all of these applicants are fighting to get the first customers. They're likely expecting a big demand right away, and they want to make their product as appealing as possible. A wave of capital will flow into Bitcoin, most likely starting this week. Sources in the know are reporting that BlackRock has already lined up $2 billion plus client money for their spot Bitcoin ETFs to inject $2 billion plus immediately into their Bitcoin ETF upon launch, upon the first week or so. We've won, guys. Cryptocurrency holders have won. The Bitcoin ETF saga is finally coming to an inflection point this week. If you, like me, have been in Bitcoin long enough to remember when every major financial institution called Bitcoin and crypto a bubble or a scam or similar, it is a bit surreal to see the conversations around it all now. Enjoy the show this week. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, of course. We keep you updated on everything going on in crypto on a daily basis. And with Gary Gensler releasing this big, long warning to investors, warning to people investing in crypto, warning people about investing in crypto, it seems like this ETF is approved, and we're just waiting for the official word to come through.
Spot Bitcoin ETF.
Bitcoin ETF.
We have, I think, somewhere between 8 and a dozen filings in front of this agency with regard to exchange-traded products around Bitcoin.
If all goes as we believe it should be going, we'll have a number of issuers come out of the gates at the same time. So you will have a number of options for investors.
I think in January, the approval of the spot ETFs is going to be a major catalyst that's going to definitely drive a demand shock.
The arrival of GBTC as a uplisted spot Bitcoin ETF, as well as spot Bitcoin ETFs more generally, is actually the beginning of an opportunity for the advised wealth market in the United States.
I want you to remember that BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, 21 Shares, Grayscale, VanEck, Invesco, Hashdex, WisdomTree, Franklin, Valkyrie, and Bitwise Bitcoin ETFs, this is not the finish line. This is the starting line. And with altcoins retesting a multi-year accumulation range, look at this. Look at what happened last time. I don't think that the end result will be that much different from what happened in 2020. Alt season, baby. Subscribe to our channel, join our team. Make sure you check back on every video this week. New information is coming out every hour. Follow us on Twitter, guys. We're going to keep you updated like no other during this week and this year. See you tomorrow.